What is up everyone, it is me DevilNeverCry, and it's been a while since I've uploaded. For those of you who don't know, I was busy visiting Capcom UK to partake in the final DMC5 stream, commentated by Matt Walker and Hideaki Tsuno. If you want to check that out in your own time, I'll leave a link in the description. But in my absence, there's been a complete translation of the first chapter of the prequel novel Before the Nightmare for DMC5. The last video I made covered the first half that was translated, and in today's video we'll be covering the rest. As always, shout out to the DMC5 Info Twitter account for this translation, and as always, for brevity's sake, I'll be focusing on a few key points. If you want to read the preview in full, there will be a link down in the description. With that all said and done, let us dive right in. Dante's opening chapter sees him visit Doomery Island, or the Via de Mali as it was known in DMC2. We see him converse with Meteor, who asks him why he hasn't returned since the incident that occurred 10 years ago, aka DMC2. So again, we have more of a concrete timeline, considering hard numbers are stated. Dante then says that he was stuck in a garbage dump, potentially implying that he was stuck in hell during this time, stating that the only reason he managed to escape from the demon world was because of pure coincidence. A large hole just big enough for him to slip through had literally appeared right before his eyes, allowing him to escape hell. Of course, Meteor chastises Dante, stating that he was just like his father Spada, and questions why he didn't keep in contact with Lucia. Dante, wanting to avoid a lecture, swiftly moves on to the topic at hand. Why exactly was he called back? Well, it turns out that the Argisax, the main villain of DMC2, his right-hand man, had supposedly rallied almost half of Hell behind him and was attempting to break into the human world. Considering this ferocious demon had been saving its strength for almost a decade, they decided to call in the big guns, aka Dante. Of course, we soon find out that this supposed ferocious demon is Balrog, and well, considering we see Dante use Balrog as a weapon in DMC5, I'm sure we all know how that fight turns out. Then we move on to Nero's chapter, and we come to find out just exactly how Nico and Nero met. The scene opens with Nero in the garage working on the Red Queen, as it seemed to be malfunctioning and not revving properly. At this point, one of the kids that Nero helps Kyrie look after in her orphanage, which was set up after the events of DMC4 by the way, comes and grabs Nero's attention, stating that somebody was looking for him specifically. Of course, Nero's used to dealing with occult investigators, especially after the Fortuna incident, so to say that he's wary is an understatement. Of course, we soon find out that Nico is in Fortuna, looking for Nero because she wants to get her hands on some of the Order of the Swords documents, and of course, who better to ask than a former member of that cult. Unfortunately, Nero rejects her requests up until the point where he realizes that she's Agnes's daughter. He's in disbelief at this point, kind of asking her questions like how can this even be? Whilst Nero is trying to come to terms with what he's just heard, Nico moves over to the Red Queen, infatuated with it and its craftsmanship, and begins to disassemble and repair it. In return for repairing the Red Queen and seemingly being a good person, shall we say, Nero agrees to show Nico the Order of the Swords documents as well as their underground hidden labs, and that's when Nero's first chapter ends. And that brings us to the end of the preview chapters. I believe the full novel is out tomorrow, and that the DMC5 Info Twitter account is working on a full translation. So do be sure to check out their page if you want to get the full details on that. As you know, I cover anything and everything Devil May Cry on the channel, so if you liked what you saw today, consider subscribing. I'd like to mention that there is also plenty of exciting content coming to the channel very soon, so stay tuned. So with all that said and done, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next video.